Hey, witches.
Hi, hello. Welcome back to another Witch in the Tsar episode. This is part 5.
Part 5. That's so crazy. And it's so crazy. Like, I feel like I don't remember what even happened because I read this so long ago. But then life happened. And
Ouch.
really on my
Yeah.
part this time.
Um, so we last so we last left off hmm, on chapter 27, and basically at the end of that, Yaya and wait, Yaya, that is not her name. Yaga.
Yaga.
For some reason, I was apparently I kept wanting to call her Anya.
Yeah. So
So,
you just
yeah,
combined
yeah,
them.
just came out. Yaga and Vasily. Well, Yaga finally gave in to her feelings for Vasily. Um, and basically saying, like, you're not going to lose me. I won't lose you either.
And then the
We're
very
being
next
there for each
chapter.
other. Yeah.
Right
Um,
away.
so we're in January 1570.
And it's a really bad winter storm. So Noche and Dien haven't been back to like report in a while. Um, and like the messengers have been there in a while. So they're all kind of at their camp starting to like,
Get worried about what's
yeah,
happening. And Yaga's going out into the wilderness to essentially see if this storm is magically created or if it's like an actual, like, really bad storm. Um, and she gets so far out there that she's actually starting to turn blue from freezing to death. And so at this point, she looks up, she sees a crow sitting there, and it's got orange colored eyes like Koshi. So she knows that she is being watched, that she is, in fact, in a snowstorm that is not man or that is magically created, that's not natural. So she starts cursing him, Morozka, and everybody involved um, for basically damning the two cities that they're trying to protect because she hasn't heard anything from um, Markula, right? It's Markula. Mikula, Mikula, um, and anybody else. So she doesn't really know exactly what's happening out in the world, what she can do to help, if anything. So
yeah.
she's
And
just trying to survive at this point.
yeah. And Vasily finds her and she tells him that she is immortal. And she starts telling them about like magic and that she doesn't think this storm is natural and um they kind of start fighting um
Yeah, because she didn't tell him up front, and he's feeling a little betrayed.
which is fair.
I think it's
Also
fair on both ends. I
understand,
mean,
yeah, I also understand why she didn't say anything cuz like would you have believed me if I told you? If you weren't witnessing all of this madness, would you have believed me?
well,
Probably not.
in a time that is basic in this time when one person is essentially murdering thousands of his people in the name of God.
Right.
Um, and things can happen at the drop of a dime. Um, and people don't believe in the old gods anymore. and
Right.
hasn't for like 500 years, um, I think it's pretty a hard sell at this point in
Absolutely.
time. And I don't know, maybe also in a way, maybe it's like afraid to lose them kind of thing. So it's like,
Yeah. Do you wanna freak him out, scare him off?
yeah, like I'm finally now owning up to like these feelings. The last thing I want to do is lose them.
Yeah. Lose what little time we're going to have together. Like, for
Yeah.
him, it's a long time, but for her, it's not. But then they kind of get interrupted in their little argument,
She's
and
also half naked at this point because she's soaked in her own
yeah.
clothes, so she took them off to warm up.
Um, and when they get interrupted, it's because Yelena is in labor.
And Yelena is having her baby a month early.
Yeah. And then by the time she gets back to the tent, Vasily is gone. And that's the end of chapter 28. So, chapter 29. So, it was also a false alarm. Yelena did not have the baby yet in chapter 28. In chapter 29, she does.
Yeah.
um, in chapter
Was the
29,
babe wasn't coming quite yet.
yeah, she like actually goes into labor and, words. Oh, Vasily and his men are trying to get out of the storm, like, they're trying to get through the storm. Um, she's just kind of dealing as much as she can. But she realizes as she's thinking about, everything and thinking about Vasily and their argument and Yelena having her baby and her worry about, like, the war that's happening, um, she loses track of her cycle. Um,
And things start tasting weird.
yeah, and things are tasting weird, and then once she really figures it out, realizes that she's weeks late. Um, and she's pregnant.
Mhm.
She is the pregnant.
Lucky her.
And she doesn't tell him.
Yeah, because she said she was gonna deliver the babe, Yelena's baby, and then she would go find him. Um, and he's obviously off doing stuff and trying to figure things out himself.
Yeah, and then even when she does find him, they, like, apologize to each other. She's like, "I'm sorry that I assumed the truth would be too much for you." And he's like, "I'm sorry that I got mad." And they, like, make up, and then she's like, "Can I tell you everything about me?" And she does, but she doesn't tell him that she's pregnant. Says, "Though I
And that's the
suspected there
thing,
was
it's
yet
like,
one more." But she's also not sure yet, and I think she wants to be sure before she tells
yeah,
him, especially in war.
yeah, and I get it. I mean, how do you tell at that time? Like, at least nowadays, like, we have tests, we could test and
Right.
see, and then get, like, a doctor opinion, but, like, this is back in a time when that was
She is the
clearly
doctor.
not. Yeah, um, and she's just assuming, not necessarily assuming, she's late because she's pregnant, like, there's a lot of factors involved with missed periods regardless of anything. She's been with men before, never been pregnant before. Hormones can
Yeah.
affect, um, cycles. Stress can affect cycles. She's in a war. She's trying to survive. She's trying to like save her people. So there's like a lot of factors involved. And just because things are starting to be smell and like taste revolting doesn't necessarily mean that she is pregnant. It could just literally be her hormones fucking with her cycle, or it could just be the fact that she's around pregnant people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the stress
So
or the
yeah,
yeah, any number of things. So she's trying to wait till she's sure. But also, I understand that thought process, but also we're in the middle of a war. Like he could die tomorrow and never know.
yeah, like you gotta tell him.
You gotta tell him. You gotta fucking tell him. But that's the end chapter 29, and we go into an interlude.
I do like these interludes, and not just because of how short they are, but like we get to see a side of other people that we don't normally get to see.
Yeah, and it helps make the story make more sense.
Yeah.
Um, so it's Celica, and she is at the she's in the land of living.
She's at a castle.
She's at a castle that is in ruins. And I this also happens to be where Ivan's campsite is. Um, she has joined him basically, him and his men, and is going with them on their
Little
um
escapades.
yeah. And she's kind of like trying to manipulate him basically into doing what she needs him to do. Um,
So she could stay in the land of the living and continue her um plan, I guess. She doesn't really have like a take over the world sort of plan, but like she definitely wants a revenge of some sort.
yeah. And she's kind of manipulating him by feeding into his delusions because like he is convinced that there's like treachery and
Mhm.
backstabbers among him, and she's like feeding it into it.
And the thing about it is, it's like she's not sitting there saying that she's completely evil. Like from her side of like point of view, she doesn't believe that she's completely and utterly evil. That she is this.
Right.
She is basically she'll look away when the Oprichniki like slit the villagers' throats, but she knows this is like a necessary means for her to get what she wants, to get what she deserves kind of thing. So we're seeing a little bit of a not I wouldn't call it a character development, but I would definitely say we're seeing a little bit more of her thoughts and like
Yeah.
why she's doing this because on the other end, like towards the end of it, um a monster or not, a woman or not, she is herself and she will live. And that's basically what she wants. She's tired of having to die like different ways and then murder her own husband just for the
For
sake
the
of everybody
seasons to
else.
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
She doesn't, she's tired of that. She wants to live for herself and be her own person. So, um,
and so that's why she's got
it's only
what the fuck
Tuesday.
word was I trying to say? That's why she's like
Manipulating everyone.
manipulating him into attacking. Is it Novgorod? Novgorod?
Novgorod, yeah.
Yeah.
Novgorod.
Um, which is the city.
It's basically St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Is what it is, I believe.
And so he's going to. She goads, that's the word I was looking for. She goads him into it. It's fine. I'm gonna be all right. Words are hard. So then we're at chapter 30. Um, and the storm suddenly stops. Like like from one moment to the next. One moment the wind and snow is blowing in their faces, and the next the wind goes away and the sky clears. Like it's just
Oh, I would like to also take back what I said. Novgorod is not St. Petersburg. I'm sorry.
oh, you're fine.
I I was wrong. It's in the same area, but
Okay.
it's more south.
Got you.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. She is more and more certain that she's pregnant. Um, and she is like, I know I need to tell him, but and then she actually there's even a thought where she on page 276 where she's thinking and she's like, if anything were to happen to Vasily and before I had had a chance to tell him about the baby, I would not soon forgive myself. And I'm like, yeah, so fucking tell him.
Like,
Fine,
now's the
tell him.
time.
But also, and maybe it's just me, but the fact that the storm stopped right now feels like a trap. Like they know
Yeah.
you know they know what your plan was. So running straight to the cities now feels like a bad idea. Like it feels like they have laid a trap and are setting you free so you can run it right into their trap.
Yeah, it doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
Um, like this was planned.
Mhm. And so true to any fantasy novel, they start packing up camp and getting ready to head on their way. Um and Vasily is smarter than I gave him credit for. I don't know about you, but smarter than I gave him credit for because he says he comes up to Yaga and he's like, "You've been very ill, and not just now. I've seen my mother ill just so." And she's like, "I know this is the worst time for me to be sick, blah blah blah." And he's like, "You're with child." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, that's
Well, and I think because of how old he was when his mother had other kids, it's
yeah,
not hard to see.
yeah." And he's not dumb, like.
Yeah.
And they just watched Yelena go through pregnancy and childbirth, so, like, he's not dumb.
Hmm.
I honestly didn't expect him to notice, so I was impressed, but
I
he
feel
did
like
notice.
it's mainly because the men in like um women are made to believe that men don't look and notice things unless like it's right
Yeah,
there in their face, and like the minuscule like getting sick, not eating as much kind of stuff is not one of those items on that list of noticing. um Obviously not all men are like that, but that's kind of how women are treated, so that's kind of how we go through life. And
yeah.
back then, when women were definitely treated as possessions and less human beings, it's way less likely that that would have even occurred back then. So, like, you could tell there's a modern ideation
Well,
twist
and also, like,
on this.
thinking of it in modern terms, like, it would be much easier to not notice
Yeah.
now because there is so much stimuli in our lives constantly berating our senses. It would be a lot easier to miss those, like, subtle changes in behavior.
Hmm.
But back then, like, they didn't have cell phones going off in their pocket. They did not have TV. They didn't have like, all they did for fun was, like, be together.
Yeah.
So, it makes a lot more sense that he would notice. Plus, I feel like trauma makes you more observant,
Hmm.
and he's been through a lot of trauma. So, just either way, he figured
And
it out. Go him.
he, I think also too, he may more or less be more concerned with the fact that he found somebody that he really truly cares for and that he doesn't want to lose, because he's lost his mother, his father, his sister, his uncle,
Everybody.
and everything. The one thing he doesn't want to lose is her, and maybe he, like, as a protector, that's just kind of how he is.
Yeah. And then chapter 31. I only wrote one thing about this chapter. Um, I don't know. They're traveling and they see these villages that are all fucked up and they see oh, Jesus, come here. Sorry. Tried to jump on my lap and almost didn't make or he didn't make it and dug into my leg and anyway, um, seeing all of this like destruction and gore is making her sick, understandably. Um,
Yeah.
that's I didn't write about that. I wrote oh, that's what I was talking about. So she's thinking about um Celica because Noach comes and tells her that uh Celica is with the Tsar and that the Holy Fool has the name of the Holy Fool has spread like wildfire. Um and Ivan talks of no one else and yada yada yada. But she's thinking about Celica and all of these things and how she's gonna fight her. And I'm just like, what is she gonna do when she finds out that Celica is her sister?
Yeah.
That's literally all I wrote for that whole chapter.
It's like, how are you going to actually I don't know, like, function after that?
Yeah, and like she's not talking about trying to kill her. She's trying to force her back into Nav because she doesn't think that she can be killed and all of that. But still, like she's trying to think of all of these things that she could try to do, but a lot of them are horrible. And like I'm like, is she going to be able to do it if she realizes that it's her sister? Like it's her one living family member.
Yeah, and she's also trying to figure out how to protect herself and her new baby from
Mm-hmm.
possible harm during this time, and it's like, well, they do say keep your friends close, but your enemies closer,
Mm-hmm.
and she's gonna try to get as close as she can.
Yeah, it's crazy. This whole thing is crazy. Um, did you have anything else for chapter 31?
Nope.
Chapter 32, um, they like split up. They get to the city, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. They get to the city and they split up to avoid entering the city with the entire party. Um, and her and Vasily are going through and uh they're going to Volos. And when they get there, he's got like this cute little house with blooming trees and green grass and a shockingly blue sky. The air is fresh and clean. There's birds, um, and all of that. And there he is, just chilling. And again, this is Vasily's, other than her, his first real introduction to magic and the gods, and that all of the stories are real. And he is taking it remarkably well. Like, he's just he's just handling it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, considering all the things that he's gone through, though, like, he better be able to handle it.
yeah, well, because then he also finds out that is it Maria?
Maria, yeah.
Yeah, that she is also immortal, or that at the very least that she already knows Volos, um, and all of these things, and it's just like I'm very impressed with how chill he is. And then we have this bout of Yaga having to appeal to male egos to get them to put aside their pride and go along with her plan, basically, because she's like, we need one of Perun's thunderbolts. Volus is like, "Meh, meh."
And
And
here's the
it's a
thing, we haven't heard from them in a long time, so it's like, what are they doing right now? What are they up to? What are they thinking? Like,
right,
we obviously know last time we talked about it, they were all like, "We're, like, gonna be aware of
we're gonna
this is
stay
gonna
out of it,
happen,
basically.
but we're gonna wait until it comes to us," and it's like, "Okay, but what are you doing until then?"
Yeah. But so instead, they're like, he's not gonna give us one, but he's gonna start throwing them because we're gonna piss him off, basically. We're gonna poke the bear. He's gonna start throwing his arrows, and when he drops one, Noach will catch it and bring it to us. Um, and then that will draw out, or I'll draw out Celica, pierce her with the arrow, force her into Nav, and that's it. And then Vasily's like, wait a second. You're gonna do this? You, mother of my child? Like, you're pregnant right now. And she's like, shh, it's okay.
"Don't worry about it. We're
Pats him
not
on the
gonna talk
head
about it."
and then moves on with her life. And that's basically that chapter.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only thing I wrote for chapter 33 was, what the actual fuck?
It's cool to see kinda Valas's, powers because like, he's the Lord of the Dead,
Yeah.
but he lives in an all-green location no matter the season with, like and he steals things. Apparently, he likes to steal things, so he's stolen a lot of sheep and a lot of cows and a lot of whatever. Um,
Yeah.
and there's, like, birds flying around, and there's, like, all kinds of, like, just springtime vibes, like, it's warm. Um,
Hmm.
so it's just, like, weird to see that the Lord of the Dead is this kind of person. I
Yeah.
mean,
It makes
we kinda
sense, though. Like, he's holding off the death so all of these pretty things can be here. I don't know. But then
what he
on
does
page
is a little messed up.
293, he slaughters all of the sheep to because he says a sacrifice must be made.
Yeah.
Um, ugh. And so this is basically their fighting.
Yeah. Like, he's like, this is how the battle begins. I'm going to murder all my goats or my sheep.
Mhm.
And, um, yeah, to create a
Yeah, they don't actually
sacrifice.
start the fighting yet, though,
No.
because
It's
all of
kind
a
of like
sudden,
we have to prepare for it. And it's like,
yeah,
but why are you making a giant sacrifice like that? Like, is it to get Perun's, like, eyes? But it's like, okay, but he didn't give two shits about like giant ass cities that got murdered. So like what is he gonna
right.
give two shits about like sheep in the yard?
No, I don't know. Unless he's like harnessing that death
I
and gonna
mean,
use it.
maybe.
But they all eventually stop talking because Nosh is like, you should look beyond the gate, yeah. And then all of a sudden they hear people yelling, the Tsar is coming. Here comes Ivan. And then it's chapter 34.
Ugh.
And he arrives.
Yeah, this was kind of a long no, I wouldn't call it a long chapter, but it was definitely one of those like chapters
Eh.
that a lot of things happen in
Yeah.
and you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. I still think Ivanushka is like under guard or undercovered or like being magically coerced. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I kinda wonder that too, just because of the situation and who is around, especially with the Ravens that have been watching the camp, like, they know.
Yeah.
There is no way in hell they don't know. Um,
Yeah.
But
But also, in this chapter, we learned that Ivan is a little bitch now. Like,
he's terrified of anything that's a holy fool, apparently. So like
yeah.
they get into position, and then Valos is screaming in his own voice, um, basically, will you continue to displease God by shedding innocent Christian blood? Take care, or a great misfortune will befall you. And he just like, from, if he did in fact hear it, he refused to pay attention to any of that. Um, and then they got into the yard, and then Ivan's like, "Oh, so you're the holy fool." Um, and he's like looking around, he sees the entrails, and he's like, "I'm a Christian. I do not eat meat during Lent." And Makula is like, "No, you do much worse. You feed upon human flesh and blood, forgetting not only Lent, but God himself." Um, and Valos is putting on quite a production for all of this. And he's like, "A thunderbolt will strike you dead if you or any of your oprichniki touch a hair on the smallest child in Pskov. We are protected by an angel of God for a better fate than murder. Leave Pskov alone or contend with the wrath of God." And in the flashing sky, a mouse stretched into a roar beneath a long mustache of gold and and a head of silver. It was the highest of gods, Perun. He had heard me. He had come back to protect Russia, to confront the Tsar and Valos. Makula's face turned to ash, and he had also seen Perun, and though it was part of our plan, I could see he was afraid. He had revealed himself to the enemy after hundreds of years in hiding. Um, and then at this point, he's screaming, like, "Stop your reign of terror, or you shall lose all country, air, dynasty. The Ruiks shall be no more." Um, and then all of a sudden, the Tsar freaks the fuck out and goes, "Take me away," staggering backwards. And he looks bad. Like, he is
Yeah.
balding. He looks like haggard. Like, he's been
He
traveling for
gets on
days.
his knees and starts begging, and then he passes out.
Yeah, like, he looks like he has been one of his own tortured souls,
Yeah.
kind of people. And he falls to his knees, freaking out about basically everything that he has seen. Not that he saw like the face of Peru, but he definitely saw the like thunderbolt and probably a face of some sort.
Yeah.
And Makula's like, "Step away, son of Ruik, step away, like go away or whatever." Well, they do. He steps away. He starts getting carried away by his guards. Now, Ivanushka is with them, and he ends up fighting the guards. His
Mhm.
guards, his father's guards, all of that, fighting on the side of Yaga and her team and her little band of miscreants. And the guard starts taking him away. And it's like, oh shit,
Mhm.
this isn't good.
Then all of a sudden, this weird cloud of ash starts, like, swirling around them all.
And she
Um,
basically has like snake skin, black hair,
yeah.
and raven's wings. And Yaga says her eyes were oddly shaped like mine, and her lips formed a single word, Yaga.
Mhm.
Um, Basically at this point, she's like, "How strange it is to be facing you." And she's like, Celica, like pissed off and trying to get her to stop all of this rampage.
Yeah. And she's like, "There's something achingly familiar about her, like I had known her."
Hmm.
Um,
So she like
and
gives her like because she's a full god, she can give like premonitions in a way, kind of like how um Capulo did,
yep,
Cupalo. And so she gives her like a vision, and essentially
shows
it's,
her her double death
yeah, like
that she
her
has to go through
life.
every year.
Hmm. Um, the burning, the ice cold drowning, the choking, all of that. Um, but it's not like she did it on purpose. Like, she didn't like send it to her. She like somehow got into Celica's brain or something and saw
Yeah.
this, because she denied that she even sent it to her. Because she asked, like, "What did you show me?" She goes, I showed you nothing." She's like, "I saw, um, a palace underground, a house of ice and snow. I was burning and drowning." And she's like, "No, that's not true." And then that's when Yaga realizes those are the places that you have actually been imprisoned.
Mhm. And then I feel like this is, like, kind of, I don't know, a trap. So they start to fight, like, Celica lunges at her, and she launches the arrow, the thunderbolt arrow at Celica, but the ash is whirling so fast that she can't tell what's happening, and then she hears a voice that says, "Help me, sister," and it's Celica, but I feel like she's trying to trap her, trick her,
Yeah.
and she definitely is.
Well, and it's terrible too because she has eyes and facial features and hair and all of that that are so similar to her that
Yeah.
it's like, I can't deny it. Of course you look just like me.
Yeah, like, and
Um,
she's, like, shocked, but also still pissed that this is her sister that's done all these horrible things.
yeah, because then it comes out like she basically realizes how her mom died, um, and all these things. And during the fight, she like um her knee dug into my stomach and I cried out in pain. I'm like, honey boo boo, I don't know how far along
Mhm.
you are, but that's bad.
Yeah.
If you suddenly start bleeding, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
But also, I know in some other books and other cultures and all that, like by being touched by a god, they can give you something or they can like put it into the like your system in a way.
Mhm.
Like, what if her kneeing Yaga in the like stomach ended up putting something into her that went straight into the babe?
I
I just
don't
feel
know.
like she did something to the baby.
Could be. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Um, and then all of a sudden, Celica whirls away, turns into ash, and, um, Ivan and his men retreat, and it's over. The chapter's over.
Yeah.
It's all
And
over as quick as it started.
Ivanushka was actually like had evidently stood up to his father because he had chosen them, and only they had been a little too late. And it's like he may be able to, spin it. I mean, he's probably gonna be on the next like list of deaths, but I think he could spin it by saying that he was trying to protect everyone from God's wrath.
Take it, maybe. Yeah.
With the state that his father's in, it could be very possible. Although his father is very, very,
Paranoid.
yeah, not
Super
mentally
paranoid.
there.
Yeah, it's bad. And
So
so the final chapter of this episode is chapter 35. And this is also the end of part 3 of the book, or part 2 of the book, my bad. Um, and they basically um settle in to the city.
yeah, they decide that they're going to stay in Pskov.
Yeah.
This is a good place for them to be.
Um, yeah, and so they settle in, and they, like, if it ended there for the most part, it would have been a happy ending. There would have been one or two things that were, like, not tied up, but they're happy and just chilling.
Yeah. Just kind of try to navigate what to do next, essentially.
Yeah.
Because with Nakula being out in the open now, Peru knows where he's at, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to fight him right then and there.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of what
Unknowns.
ifs. Yeah. But I mean, more of the plot has been unfolded. There's like more of the plan coming into play. It's just the worrisome part about it is what's going to happen with Yaya and her like little band of outlaws. especially with more gods coming into play. And I've been running amok, like running around and doing all of the like bad stuff. Like, what will happen to any of these people? And
Yeah.
we only really have like a couple of people that we're like truly like tied to, and it's Yaga and Vasily, and even Ushka, I guess. But there's a lot of other people that are part of the band of miscreants, and it's like, now what?
Yeah, like Maria, Varvara.
Yeah. So gotta do what you gotta do. But
Yeah.
so that's chapter 35. And next time we will start back up with chapter 36. So
Yeah.
until next time.
Bye.